So I went to visit Debbie maybe a couple months after my son was stillborn. And so I was just searching for answers, a connection, just trying to understand, who he was, what our story was together. And I came to see Debbie, and she described him, and she was able to just kind of talk to me about who he was and why that situation happened. And, I was trying all sorts of different things. I was looking for ways to connect and to understand the situation. And so, I didn't know. I didn't know how it was all going to go. And in the reading, she said to me, she said, okay, he wants to give you confirmation so you know that he was there. And I said, okay. And she said, I'm seeing a shattered light bulb. She's like, what does this mean? And literally probably 2 days before I went to that reading, I was in my living room and I was changing out a light bulb, and I dropped it on my hardwood floors, and the glass shattered and spread all over the floor. And I can't tell you the last time I broke a light bulb when I was changing it. It's not something that, it's not like, oh yes, he knows that, whatever. It was a very specific, very strange thing that had happened to me, not your ordinary thing. And she was able to see that. So I've actually been coming to see Debbie pretty frequently since all of that happened. There have been other really interesting things that have happened too that she has been able to totally, tell me about. So one of the things, when we were, I can't remember how far after losing him, but she told me, she said, he's showing me a flower that has pink on it. There's a pink flower that I'm seeing. And she's like, I don't know what it means. And the cool thing about Debbie is she says, this is what I'm seeing. And she's like, I don't know what it means. I'm telling you. They're showing me a pink flower. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. And she said, but the thing is, it's going to bloom in a place that it doesn't make sense where it's blooming. And I said, okay. And I waited and I kind of forgot. And then one morning I walked outside, living in Missoula, Montana, walked outside onto, down my front sidewalk, and a stargazer lily had bloomed in my front yard. And a stargazer lily is my husband and I's flower. So when we first started dating, he gave me a bouquet of stargazer lilies. And for all of, our anniversaries, I get stargazer lilies. And after we lost Bodhi, my house was full of stargazer lilies because people know that it's my favorite flower. And there was a stargazer lily, perfect. I have a photo of it on my phone. And I was like, I don't have stargazer lilies in my front yard. Like, it's not possible that this flower is blooming here. And it was, and I took a photo, and the very next day, a deer ate it. So it was gone. It lasted 1 day. And so that was a really, really interesting thing that had happened. And, lots of little things like that, that have kind of been confirmed throughout my talking with her. So then when I got pregnant again, she, I came in and I didn't say I was pregnant. I just, I came in and she's like, why are you here? And I was like, well, it's the new year and I just kind of wanted to check in. And she was like, well, they keep showing me August. Like, August is a very big month for you. Your life changes, all this stuff. She's like, August. And I was like, well, I'm actually pregnant and due in August. She goes, okay, that's it. She's like, I will tell you though, that you're going to have a scare in the springtime. She's like, you're going to have a scare. She's like, but it will be okay. She's like, but you are going to go through something and it's going to really scare you about this pregnancy. She goes, this pregnancy, you need to remain calm in your mind and your body. And I own a fitness studio, and I created a fitness program. And so I had stopped exercising for my entire first trimester, and the doctor said, okay, yeah, you can start exercising. So that week I had gone back to exercise, and I exercised 3 times that week, and then I ended up in the hospital. And so, and I'll get to the healing as well, but I was, there was a part of me that deep down inside was like, okay, this is really, really scary that I'm in the hospital. But in the back of my mind, I just kept hearing Debbie say, you're going to have a scare, but it's going to be okay. And the reminder is that you need to be calm in body and mind. And it was right after I had just, started not being calm in my body anymore. So it was just really interesting. Everyone can be as skeptical as they want, but there's some things that there is absolutely no way that she could be making it up, that it could be just, it's not like she asks questions that lead you in a direction to get the answer. It's none of that at all. It's just completely, it's mind-blowing, and it's so comforting too. Losing a loved one, or losing a family member, losing my son, she gave me so much peace, because it wasn't just this tragic thing that I had to go through. It was tragic, but she made me feel like he's still here, and that I know him, and that there's a reason why I had to go through that situation, and that ultimately everything is okay, And I think that when you go through something really traumatic like that, you just feel like, it's not fair. Why is this happening? Like, I needed to understand it a little bit. And she was able to do that for me in a way that I think, years of therapy or years of counseling couldn't do. Yeah. Because I would, I just, the amount of peace that talking to Debbie has given me is absolutely priceless.